Scott Stiles Golf here with the scoring solution, and I've got one simple drill that can improve your golf swing. A lot of people are looking for that one little tip, that one little secret, that one thing that can help them get better. And in reality, there isn't something like that. But if I had to pick one thing that would help most golfers, this simple swing tip would be it. I see a ton of high-end teachers around the world use it. I see a ton of professional golfers use it, and it just doesn't get done enough on everyday ranges across the world. If you enjoy this content, if you find it helpful, if you like the way I talk, if you like the way I explain things, please do me a favor, like the videos, subscribe down below. That helps this channel grow. It helps it get out to more people. It helps more people learn just the way you're about to. So if you do that, I'd really appreciate it. It's simply making swings that go from 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock. Okay, so call it a half swing, 3/4 swing, whatever you want to call it, but it's a simple move where we take the club back, where your lead arm on the way back goes to about parallel to the ground, or if I'm on a clock, 9 o'clock, lefty's obviously on the other side, and then it's going to stop at that same point on the other side of the swing in the follow through. The reason this is so good is because it trains the most important part of the swing, and that's through the impact zone. Okay, it helps us to organize our body movement through this main part of the swing without going too fast, without having too much going on. That helps us in a more stable or manageable manner. If we can learn to manage this part of the golf swing and get better and better at it and actually hit shots, you'd be amazed at how much more solid your contact can get, how much crisper the impact is, how much better you compress the golf ball, how you control the distance of your shots. Again, this helps in so many different ways. Another area this is really good for is your wedges. If you make this move, this simulates a lot of wedge swings that we need to make. When we're controlling our wedges and making good swings, we start to engage our body. We start to quiet down what we're doing with our hands and wrists. A lot of problems that I see with students is when they go to the top of their golf swing or they get past this position, things get out of sync. They turn too little and their arms lift. They aren't mobile enough, and so they start to use their hands and their wrists to simulate a longer swing. They lose control of the club face. They lose connection with their arms and their body. They try and do a whole bunch of extra, call it stuff, which leads to compensations. And when our swing is built around or consists of a whole bunch of compensations, it's a recipe for trouble. And it's where we lose that consistency that everyone is looking for. Again, most golfers that come to see me, they often say they want to hit it further and they want to be more consistent. Well, this move here helps them be more, I don't even like the word consistent. I prefer repeatable, okay? Because there isn't really true consistency in the golf swing. So again, this drill, if you incorporate it into your practice, I promise you, it'll either enlighten you and let you know what you're doing. You'll figure out something that's going on in your swing that you didn't know before. And then with a few reps, you'll start to strike the ball better. You'll start to hit the ground in the right spot, and you should see some improvement. It helps if you're in the trees and need to chip the ball out. It helps if you're playing in windy conditions and you need to flight the golf ball down. It helps if you're in between clubs and you can't hit it as far as a full swing would be. Learning how to shorten the length of your swing while maintaining some certain sequences, while still maintaining speed. When you start out, it's okay to hit these shots slower, but as you get further along with this drill, you can hit these shots with a fuller speed, and that's kind of the idea. And you'll be surprised at how far you can hit the shot from this limited length of golf swing. This looks like from a face-on view, and I highly encourage you to either have a mirror set up when you're filming this or when you're doing it, or a mirror, because most people don't know what it feels like to make a short swing. So what it's going to look like from a face-on view, you're going to take the club back about, again, arm parallel to the ground, and finish on the other side. I want you to feel what it's like to use your body. Okay, you got to feel like your hips move, your core moves, your chest moves, your shoulders moves, your back moves. Everything is going to feel like it rotates back, rotates through. You're going to make a turn on the way back, a turn on the way through. Start with some practice swings. Okay, you make a turn on the way back, turn on the way through. All you're trying to do, turn and turn, brush the ground, or if you got an iron or a wedge, thump the ground in the same spot and hold your finish. In my mind, we get three main pieces of information when you hit a golf shot. You get where the ball goes, That's simple. We see that all the time. Everybody pays attention to that. You get what impact felt like with the ground. Did we hit the ground first? Did we hit the ball first? Where did we hit the ball on the club face? That stuff's the easy one. And then the last thing I like to talk about is, where's our finish? Not enough people hold their finish after a golf shot. And then they lose an important piece of information as to what happened in the golf swing. If we hit a shot and we immediately pull out of it, whether it's good or bad, we don't know where the swing ended up. And where we end up can be a decent indicator of what happened before it. If we finish and we're nice and balanced, we're stable, we feel rotated, we could stand here all day, there's a decent chance some good things happen before that. If you finish a golf swing and you're falling backwards, which we see a lot, or you're falling forward, or you've lost your balance, but you're not aware of it and you don't take stock of it, you lose a chance to gather some important data. When we get a golf ball for this drill, okay, we're gonna set up, okay, simple. I've just got a 7-iron here. You can kind of use whatever club you want for it, but this is kind of in the middle. We're gonna go back about halfway. So I don't mind having a little pause there at the start too. Training your golf swing to move at different speeds is a massive part of skill development. Most people only have one speed, and it's fast-ish, and they aren't able to go faster or slower. And it takes them, again, sometimes multiple lessons in front of me trying to get somebody to go to different speeds. So practicing going faster or slower is huge for skill development. Okay, again, I'm gonna take it back. I'm gonna stop here, okay, and then turn through and hold my finish. Really simple. That one was pretty good. I finished nice and balanced. I like where I ended up. And do it again. Set up. Be deliberate with your setup with this type of stuff too. I see so many people rush into shots when they're practicing and they don't take time to think. Okay, we got to get our brains engaged when we're trying to improve ourselves. When we get to the golf course, that's more of the like, let's let it go, let's swing, let's just pick a target and go. But in this type of training session, it's okay to take a little bit of time. I'll set up, make my nice backswing, hold it, and swing through. Pretty solid. Again, I was pretty happy with that contact. Once you've done it a few times with a pause, and that pause might be half a second, it might be 5 seconds. Most people, when I ask them to pause in a golf swing, can't do it. Okay, I want a 1 second pause. I'll ask them to pause for 3 seconds and make them count out loud, because what happens all the time is I want somebody to pause, they think they pause and they go, and there's nothing there. If someone watching thought they were pausing, they tell them there was nothing going on. So take a club back with this pause. 1, 2, 3, and then swing through. So that one, I was focusing on the numbers, and you could tell I followed through a little bit too far. That's okay, but it's just a piece of awareness that we're looking for. Every swing or every shot gives us a chance to collect some data, or it's a point of information. If we detach from the outcome in terms of good or bad, we really open ourselves up to learning, and we start to feel different things and understand different parts of the golf swing. So now I'm going to try and do this in one piece. Again, just a 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock, or parallel to the ground on the way back, parallel on the way through with your lead arm. Hold my finish, okay? So I'm not swinging all out at anything here. I'm not trying to move too fast. What I'd like to see as I do this drill a few times, I'd like to calibrate my contact. I want to make sure I hit the ground in the same spot. I'd like to make some nice compression. That one felt really nice. Okay, the ball came out straight, solid. I hit it the way I'd like. Okay, again, I'm going to go through this maybe 10, 15 minutes of just these little half shots. Set up. Again, I really like that one. So much of the game of golf is trying to build confidence. Okay, how are we confident in our move? How are we confident in ourselves? And this is a really, really simple drill that isn't overly technical. And that's a huge part of it, is a lot of people are looking for or hoping to find some generally quite technical drill that can fix their golf swing or change their game. And those don't really exist, because if it's something really technical, when you try and take that to the golf course, unfortunately, it's just not going to work. Us as teachers, as coaches, we could try that. And oftentimes when we go to the golf course to play, if we're thinking about technical things, even if it's the right thing, we generally don't play as well. So searching for, or hoping for a very technical piece of advice that can help you on the golf course, you're probably not going to find it. Again, like I said, this is a simple swing tip that could help most golfers, but it's not a secret and it's not a fix that will change everything. It's something that most golfers who maybe don't have that much time to practice or are looking for something to keep them tidier, this can be really, really beneficial. And you can do it all the time and you can do it anywhere. Okay, I love giving students tips or drills that they can do at home. They can do away from the golf course. A lot of people, they feel like when they try to go and practice, they need to put in a certain amount of time. And because it takes, say they feel like they need to go hit balls for a full hour, oftentimes they don't do any because they don't think it's enough. I love drills that you can go do for 5, 10, 15 minutes because then you're going to do them more often. And if you increase the frequency of the practice, not the length, it's going to be a pretty good, it'll be a pretty good help to your golf game. Again, frequency over duration, I would often take frequency over length of practice session because a lot of times we're not focused enough to put in a long session. We end up just repeating ourselves over and over again. We're not actually learning, and then we get frustrated because when we show up to the golf course the next day, it doesn't show up in our swings. So to recap this, it's a 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock swing with control, with function, with enough thought. What we're trying to get out of it is, can we hit the golf ball in the center of the club face, and can we hit the ground in the right spot? Okay, those are the two like pillars of ball striking. If you can hit the ball in the center of the face and hit the ground in the appropriate spot, you will strike the ball very well. That's what the best players in the world all do better than anybody else. Their swings may be different, but they control the bottom. So you're going to work your way up, start small, start with the pause, and then eventually what I'd like to see you be able to do is hit these swings with quite a lot of power, where you can really turn and create a nice strike. You'll surprise yourself with how much speed you can create in a shorter window. But you have to make sure you rotate on the way back and rotate on the way through. Hold your finish. Be aware of what's going on. Be deliberate with this practice. Once you get better and better at it, then you won't have to think quite as much, and it can be a really good drill for your warm-ups. If you're on the golf course and you find yourself struggling, go there, make some of these swings on the side while someone else is hitting. You can recenter yourself or recalibrate yourself. We're always looking for things that can help us out, and we need to be consistent with it. And this is a drill. I know one of my favorite coaches, Sean Foley, is one of the best in the world. He says that this drill is a non-negotiable for every single student, whether they're a new golfer or a tour player. They all have to work on this 9 to 3 swings because he just knows how helpful it can be and how important it can be. So if you like this drill, if you enjoyed this content, please like the video, subscribe to my channel. The more people I get engaged, the bigger this channel can get, the more information I can get out to everybody else. So it would really help me out if you like what you saw. Don't be afraid to pass it along to your friends as well. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.